Hi guys, Dimitri here. This is my latest video and this is about my newest camera. And the reason that I got the camera is the trip that I just came back from. My wife's best friend, the person that she knows for 3 decades, was getting married. And she was getting married at a beautiful Bellagio in Lake Como in Italy. So it was a destination wedding. So I was going to go and I needed to bring something with me to take pictures of. Plus we were going to venture and go to Milan and other locations around Lake Como. I have not been to that location before, and at first I thought I need my DSLR, probably Nikon D850, and that was my thought. But my wife says, listen, don't take anything heavy, and I don't want you to be there and tinkering with like changing lenses all the time. It's annoying. You're not a wedding photographer. We're just there as the guests. Can you bring something that is easy? So then I thought, well, maybe my Sony A9, because it's smaller than the 850. I could take it with the Tamron 2875. Maybe bring 55. Maybe get the new 35-1.8 from Sony, and so I started to thinking about, that was my thought at the time. Sony, I'm gonna go Sony. It's weatherproof. It's gonna be raining in Milan and Lake Como this time of the year. But then I started packing the Sony and the lenses and the flash, and all of a sudden my bag got really heavy. And I'm thinking, I need to probably go even lighter than that. So that's how my thought of Fuji X-T30 came about. I enjoy Fuji cameras. I own X-T2. I did own X-T3 at one point, but I sold it. But I still have X-T2. So I was thinking X-T30. Good autofocus. It's not weatherproof, but maybe light rain, it's gonna survive. Plus, one thing that I like about the X-T30 is it is very small, and it comes in a kit with 15 to 45. 18 to 55 is another kit that it comes with, but I already have 18 to 55, and that's not the lens that I was thinking about. The 15 to 45 kind of, my thought process, 15 is in full frame terms is 22.5, which is basically wider than 24. So I do get the ultra wide angle sort of, but it's at the same time I can use this as it's a small lens, and I can use it and I don't have to change lenses all the time, because my wife doesn't like that, you know, that I keep changing lenses and it just, you know, distracting. So I went ahead and I got the X-T30 with 15 to 45. And it is amazingly small. In fact, it is so small with the 15 to 45 that I can actually put it in my coat's pocket and it fits inside. And I can just cover it with a zipper. So basically I can just leave it in my pocket, in my coat pocket, and it's there. Amazing. And then in my other pocket, I put 23-1.4. Because I thought, well, I gotta have a 35. You know, it's gonna be a church ceremony, it's gonna be dark inside the church, I wanna take a few pictures. So I brought the 15 to 45, I brought the 23-1.4, and I also brought the 56-1.2, but I took a few pictures with 56, but most of the pictures I've used the 15 to 45 and the 23-1.4. And I gotta tell you, that was the idea, worked, and it was great. My bag, first of all, my bag that I carried with me at all times was just, my shoulders thanks me. It was so light. And even flying to Italy, you know, my bag was small because, you know, all I had is, you know, the camera, a couple of more lenses, the 23 to 56, and my iPad pretty much. Oh, and the little flash, the little Nissan flash. So, 15 to 45 X-T30, and that proved to be a perfect combination. The fact that it has this 15, which is like wider than normal 24 equivalent, really worked, especially in Milan, when we went to Milan, and also in Lake Como, when we walked around and I took some street pictures, and when we went to church, or at the wedding ceremony, later at the reception, I just switched to 23-1.4, and most of my pictures were taken with 23-1.4. The 30, I used 56 for a couple of pictures, and everything worked out great. The autofocus on X-T30 is pretty much the same as X-T3, which is very good. The low light performance, the noise obviously is not as good on the A9. In fact, it's probably not as good as X-T2, but it was good enough for my pictures. I'm going to include some of my shots that I've taken of my wife, and and you can see that some of the photos I've taken at pretty high ISO, and they work. In fact, there's one photo that I took with my wife was of ISO 4000. Here's this photo, and as you can see at ISO 4000, it's, you know, it's not bad at all. So the X-T30 as a travel camera worked for me really well. It's with this lens combination and then 23 and 56. That's pretty much all I needed. I mean, it's always nice to have something even wider, but I don't currently own 10 to 24, and that lens is kind of large in terms of size, so I probably would not want to bring it with me. But the 15 to 45, 23-1.4, 56-1.2 work great. Now, another thing which is great with respect to X-T30, the fact that it's a crop camera kind of helps in the following fashion. With A9, with full frame cameras, when shooting with wide aperture lenses, I really have to take care of my aperture when I take group pictures of, and I've taken a lot of group pictures of, you know, my wife and her girlfriends and family members. So, you know, even if you shoot at 1.8 or f2, you gotta remember to narrow your aperture, because somebody is not gonna be in focus. Because crop lenses, when you use crop lenses at wide aperture, your depth of field is actually larger. So shooting at even at f1.4, you can kind of fit multiple people in, and they're all going to be in focus. And if you do f2, you pretty much cover a bunch of people in focus. So that actually helps, ironically, with that you can still use wide apertures and still fit few people in focus. So that was pretty good. So the bottom line is the X-T30 proved to be a pretty capable camera, which I kind of knew because I owned X-T3 before that. And the fact that it's so small helps. Travel camera, very good. Now the rating part, it was raining pretty much 75% of the time in both Lake Como and Milan, and I did put like a little cover on the to cover the hot shoe. Now the X-T30, at least in the US where I bought it, does not come with it. It comes open, but I took it from my other camera and I covered the hot shoe just in case. And with that in mind, the camera was subject to rain, and I had no issues with it, even though it's not weather resistant, and neither is 15 to 45 or 2314 or 5612. None of those lenses are weather resistant. So it worked. It worked. And here are some of my pictures. If you have any questions about X-T30, don't hesitate to ask. And again, sorry for not making more videos, but just very busy, and this is one evening that I had free, so I'm making this video for you guys. Thank you, and subscribe to my channel if you like what you see or what you hear. Bye.